Hell yeah, we're back again. You already know what it is. Or do you? Well, it's psychic. I mean, it's not psychic, it's human. Now you know what it is. We're trying to get everyone with the human synergy. And, it hasn't gone terrible. Human can be a pretty fun synergy. I do like having the different TMs. Some of them are some of them are fun. I really enjoy skill swap. Um, but we just start off, we get a Fennekin and a human portal, so that's nice. Hopefully we can get some human units that are decent. Fennekin, Machoke, uh, Chimchar. I'm trying to think if there's any other early human ones. Impidimp, of course. But to start off, we get some fire going. We get the Lampent, which is fine. See if we can get it breaks in as well. That would be good for our team. Human has a lot of different directions it can go. We obviously have the fire overlap with Magby breaks in. There's also what's it called? The Cinderace line, Cinderace, the Chimchar. There's also the Charcadet ones. But I think fighting and psychic are just a little bit more easier to go for. Maybe not like fighting 8, but you can get fighting 6, human 6 somewhat. Maybe not often, but a decent amount of the time. So human is just good for having as a splash. Psychic is great with it. There's a whole lot of overlap with psychic, but a few of them are ad picks, and a few of them are a good amount of them are uniques or legendaries. And then you also have the egg you could get in Gothita, which maybe we'll get here. I don't know. Could happen. We don't get many great items. Oh, we do get the Gothita though. How? I wish I could be more surprised by that, but I was surprised earlier when I was watching this recording, and I was trying to record some commentary for it, but I didn't realize that I had the game audio from this playing under my recording. So I had to get rid of this one. This is my second attempt doing some commentary for this game. Or I guess my third attempt since I was doing a live commentary, but my roommates were being loud, so I didn't want to keep that in. And we do start off with a win here, yeah. Lampent putting in a lot of damage. We also get the burn. That burn didn't really do much, but we're doing well. We get a charcoal, that would be fine on the back line. That being said, not a whole lot of stuff we can make to improve this team. We are in region for Drowsy though, so that would be nice if we could get that before Gyarados. Pineco can be a scary addition if not by itself, but if there's a bug team that's playing Durant, having that synergy added in can be dangerous. So we go into our second PvP round, and we take out that Charmander pretty fast. And I guess I thought this would be a win if we got that Charmander out, but just adding the Psychic Mons into our team planner, and I can tell from the Jirachi that jumping that we just barely lost the Litwick on like 5 health. I guess we take out the Jinx and the Mr. Mime. Those were ad picks, so I guess we just didn't get those. Yeah. We do get the breaks in though, that's nice. This frontline Chimchar, it's not super great. Having human and Sticky Barbs is great, but Chimchar is just, pretty low health. It'll have some added bulk from the heart skill, but just barely. It's not going to be a whole lot it can do with that. I know Sticky Barbs only operates against melee attacks, but is it just melee attacks or just attacks that are at melee range? Because I feel like if you're within range of a 2 or 3 ranged unit, then the Sticky Barb should still activate, but I don't think that's how it works. Should be how it works in my opinion, but either way, I think it's a pretty good item on human, especially if we get some more bulk and like a shell bell. That's awesome with it. But yeah, there's a whole lot of overlap we can get with human and psychic, and that seems to be what we're playing for now. The Indeedee twins, those are our preferred unique picks, especially since I think since they're both support units, if I recall correctly, being able to use one for a TM is nice. And we have a choice here. I think we could take this boon for extra ability power, but having that Dawnstone would be really nice. I'm not sure if adding the Crab Brawler is a good idea, since that has the ability to fit into a good amount of different teams. Monster Ice and fighting, all somewhat decent synergies to get an ad pick for. Not sure if my vocabulary made a lot of sense there, but yes, it can be a dangerous unit to add. Unfortunately, the Dawnstone isn't helping us yet. The Charmander isn't getting any psychic out of that, so the cast would be a little bit more powerful from the ability power that Dawnstone provides, but not much. And the early Gothita is very nice. We'll get that to be a Gothitelle sooner rather than later, which is awesome. And here I'm just trying to figure out how to get humans to primary synergy, but also be strong enough to beat the Gyarados. Luckily I do figure something out with the Monferno. There you go. Nice. Good job. So that should give us a good chance for a human portal. As long as one shows up. Hopefully it's not contested. And there's actually 2 human psychic portals. One of them is going away from us, and then one of them is coming towards us. Luckily we do get one. It's kind of scary though, since both of them are on the opposite sides of our side of the carousel, but it's all good. It's all good. And we get Hawlucha. For a second I do debate going for Mesprit as well, since we do have the vacancy on our team to add in a psychic unit, since we only need 6 human. But I think the Hawlucha is a better choice, because we're not going to be struggling for backline units on a psychic team. So getting a strong frontliner is, I think, preferable. There we go. Selling the Monferno, I think, is a bit rash, but Sticky Barbs on a human, like I said, that's pretty nice. It's not super great by itself, though. It's nice to have the added bulk onto a human unit to take full advantage of those Sticky Barbs, especially if you're healing from some of your damage. You want to be able to have you just want to be able to maximize those benefits. And I don't think you're maximizing it enough with just the sticky barbs alone. Because you can see the yellow on our battle stats. That yellow is true damage that the Hawlucha is dealing because of the sticky barbs. It deals true damage when you get attacked. And right now it's just a small sliver, which is, it's good. It's not hurting us, of course. It's helping a bit. I would like to take this heart scale here. Just add the bulk that we were talking about earlier for the Hawlucha. But I don't want to add a Swablu into the mix. That is bad if we are playing against another fairy team. Swablu has a really good ability. It's pretty much Kyogre's ability, if I think. Maybe a little bit weaker though, of course. And so we just take a spoon, which is nice. We can make a Soldew. Soldew would probably go great on the Gothita. Especially once it becomes a Gothitelle. It's going to be doing a lot of overall field damage. We pop the Unknown, which gives us amulet coins, but unfortunately we only take out a single unit on the enemy's side, so we get a single gold, which is better than nothing, but you know, would have hoped for a little bit more. And let's see here, there's a heart scale, plus it's a Wobbuffet carousel, which is awesome. Having those recycle tickets is generally so valuable if you play it right, because you can choose to make your team strong now, but also have those items available later. So you don't have to really choose whether you want to make your team strong now, and then have to sell a unit later if you want to put them like on a legendary or an epic, or what's it called? Whatever unit that costs 5 gold, like a Timber or a Solosis. Having the items available on that is great. But with the recycle ticket, you don't really have to choose. So you can just take those items off with the ticket, and it's awesome. Also, it turns the items into components as well. So you can even just take the items off and then build them into something better if you want. I'd also really like to have the Deoxys. Munkidori is great, of course, because of allowing you to use those synergies to its advantage, since it's human and psychic. But Deoxys is more fun because it has so different forms, different ways to play. You can play it frontline or backline, frontline defensive or frontline offensive, and then 2 different backline ones. I think I misread this Unknown. It says spawn 4 Abras on each corner, and I think I misread it and thought it was the Unknown where it spawns 4 other unknowns on each corner of the battlefield. So I saved that for the PvE round just after this. I also get a Chimchar, which is fine if I want to add back in some firefighting splash. And here we see the effectiveness of a Rocky Helmet. Sticky Barbs on Hawlucha. After that cast, it gets pretty much all its health back. Now it's back at full health again. After this cast, get a bit more health back. And it's unfortunately just barely not enough. I think if we had a Shell Bell on that, then it would have been easily a win for us. But you can see back in the battle stats, we actually have a lot of true damage going off on it now compared to earlier rounds, like almost as much true damage as it did ability and attack damage. And we're repositioning to make sure our unknown goes off. Having it in the bottom left corner means that the Mew isn't able to teleport into that corner, and then the Mewtwo, if it throws its ability out, it's most likely going to go to the bottom right. In that case, it would actually hit the Mew because it was facing directly downward, but it doesn't really matter since I'm now realizing why is there 4 Abras on the field instead of unknowns. But we do get a Charcoal and Ice and make the Shell Bell for Hawlucha, which is huge. Hawlucha is just going to be like our dominant carry for a while until we get our legendary now. We're still in region for Drowsy, which is great because then we can focus on leveling up and then trying to get that before our legendary. Maximize our chances of finding an epic unit. I'm not sure why I'm holding onto the Soldew. I think that would just be like an obvious slap straight onto the Gothitelle. No, it's Gothita, Gothorita, Gothitelle, right? Also I'm adding in some other Regis. Registeel is fine, and then Regirock and Regice would be fantastic to put that Psychic Stone onto because they have some massive AoE casts. And this Psychic team, not enough to overcome our power. And we get a great unknown. We get the Unknown Eye, which gives us an item component, which is even better for this game since one of our carousels was an egg, so we're going to be at an odd number of components by the time we get to the G20, and so that'll give us one more item component than the rest of the lobby, which normally isn't a big deal, but that one item component is going to be the difference of making a complete item. And in turn, we're just going to have a little bit more power than the rest of the lobby. And speaking of that unknown, I'm not sure why, but I just did not put it into the field, even though it would have been a lot better than having the Chimchar, because having the unknown would put us at Psychic 5. I think I'm going for the Magnet here. Yeah. Whether we get frontline or backline legendary, that's nice to either get like another heart skill for a muscle band or just more speed for like a backline attacker. Now I want to start rolling for the Drowsy. We're only at 15%, so I think we could probably benefit from waiting until we're level 8 to roll. We do get a Machoke though, that's all well and good. And I want to reposition better so that if we face a team that has a dark unit, we're better suited to deal with that, so that it's not taking out our backline as fast or as easily. And unfortunately this Lapras is gross. A fairy type Lapras is like, I don't know, man. If you're playing a fairy type Lapras, I think you need to go to therapy. We do take it out though, I'm pretty sure. This is where the Sticky Barbs comes in handy, because you're going to be dealing true damage that goes beyond, or goes under the shields that Lapras is going to be able to make. Taking the Wynaut is fine. It'll be decent to have as a Psychic Splash for the team, since we have the unknown, but we're not gonna we're likely not going to hold on to. Well, obviously, we're not going to be able to hold on to the unknown if it pops its ability. But yeah, I really should have slammed the Soldu and put that onto Gothorita. And once again, our Hawlucha is our last bastion of hope. It's gonna take on a 4v1 in this field team. And it's gonna pull through because of, as you can see, those sticky barbs is dealing like 400 damage by itself. And that was like the one thing that helped us against this field team, because the field team was dealing, it was getting so many attacks from electric, like those +1 Minums, they were so fast, plus they were getting multi-hits from electric. I really need to pay attention here and put this unknown in. There we go. And fix our positioning just a little bit. Hopefully good enough positioning so that the Lugia doesn't take it out. And it goes for our Gothitelle instead. Speaking of, having the Gothitelle at this point is nice, just before we get our legendary. Also, we pulled the Drowsy, so we sell the Why Nots off. And we have a double human portal just right by us. We do take that. It's not contested enough for anyone else to steal it. And we get some good attacking items as well. Sunglasses is great if we want to make a Razor Claw. And we get Dioxys. That's all we want, right? That's just peak right there. We can just slap that in for free since it takes the place of our unknown. And then slap the Soldu onto it, I'm sure. And right here, I think this is a great play, being able to have the Razor Claw X-ray vision, because having that extra speed, you're just going to have way more instances way more instances of way more opportunities, I should say, to get crits. Yeah, to get critical hits. We also get an unknown W, which is nice. That gives us more chance to pull Ralts. Speaking of, we get a Ralts. And then we could also get a Solosis or Timber, possibly. There we go. Now our Hawlucha isn't doing as much damage, but our Deoxys is picking up the slack. Probably because our Deoxys is taking out those weaker frontline units before Hawlucha has the chance. And Hawlucha is still doing a great job. It's flying into the back line and dealing a good amount of damage there. I debated throwing this Dawnstone onto the Machoke, but that didn't happen, which is I think good, because I think if I get a Timber, I'd want to put the Dawnstone onto that instead, and then keeping the Machoke for that fighting 2 synergy will be nice for the Timber as well. So having the opportunity to hold on to it is nice. I'm not sure what I want here. I think what the optimal play would have been would be to take the Reaper Cloth and then use the recycle ticket on Dioxys to move that Razor Claw. I am eyeing the choice specs for some reason though. I'm not sure why. There is a fire team, and so I don't even get the opportunity to choose, but I do get the safety goggles anyway. Safety goggles is what I meant. I think I just said choice specs, but I put the choice specs onto the Darumaka for now, since I'm not going to be holding on to that. and then I can put the unknown in. Hopefully we get something decent. I should probably put the Ralt in over Machoke right now. Then we are playing Psychic 7, Human 6 already. Our Deoxys unfortunately takes an early exit from this round, and our Hawlucha does its best to try and solo 1v4, but it's just barely not enough. Especially against a Kadabra, it's not going to be able to take out a ranged unit easily enough when you're dealing with 3 other frontline units. Or I guess 2 other frontline units, and then it took out the Cosmo M in the 1v4, but that's it. We also get a Girafarig, which is fun, because I don't think the Girafarig was added into this game, because it's an ad pick, but you can still get it through unknowns, which is fun. And we could play Psychic 7 here. If we got rid of the Machoke, or we just gave the Machoke the Dawnstone, that would be a free Psychic 7, but I guess that's not what we do. And that's the importance of being able to watch the replays of this game, because you can see where you messed up. And speaking of mistakes, I'm not sure why, but we take the recycle ticket and put it on Deoxys so that we can move that safety goggles onto it. And I don't understand the logic, because the punching glove is a good item, but I feel like the X-ray vision is way better, because then we're getting that speed plus the crit chance. And I think that's way more valuable than having the Razor Claw. I mean the Razor Fang. It's generally actually really hard for me to remember the difference, because I feel like the Razor Fang looks like a talon claw. So I always just think it's the Razor Claw, and then the actual Razor Claw, I mean, I can understand it being a claw, but it looks like 2 canine teeth, which, I mean, I guess the Razor Fang does look like more of a canine tooth than the Razor Claw. But let me stop rambling here and explain why that was a misplay, because there is a fire team, but they're going to be attacking our front line first, so I think having that choice, the safety goggles would have been way more effective on a frontline unit. Speaking of Timber, we do get it, and then we put the Dawnstone on it. Plus we keep our fighting synergy, which is some foresight I should have had earlier, because I forgot the Hawlucha is already a fighting type unit. Then we changed to Deoxys speed, which is fine. I think I'm sure it has more speed than the Deoxys attack, but it's good because of the punching glove. So we do beat out the other Psychic team, which is very satisfying, because they have their own Deoxys and their own Kirlia. Plus they have Fairy Stone on their Lapras and Deoxys, which I just hate to see. They have a crit set Fairy Deoxys, which is just sickening, if I'm going to be honest. I wasn't sure what to take here, but I just take the heavy duty boots so that we have some more ability power. That's probably good to slap onto the Kirlia. And then I can play this Unknown here if I want to try and get some stronger units, but I think now the angle I'm playing is just getting the Porygon in. That'll really help against the fire team. Not as much against the field team that I saw earlier. It would help against the fairy team as well. But I really like Porygon having the ability to just steal your opponent's strengths and use them for yourself. It's also really fun against a monster team because it can get its own monster stacks. And luckily we do take out this monster team pretty handedly, and we put them in place, 4th place, kick them out of the lobby, and now we're just left against a field and a fire team. And we get 2 unknown W's actually, so that's a good opportunity to find something, maybe another Timber, maybe some more routes. We could go with Gardevoir. I had one mistake, I think, in one of the games. One of my attempts where I high rolled for a Gardevoir, but I didn't realize that my team was had more fighting synergy, so I messed up there. I really wish I had these crit items onto the Gothitelle or the Kirlia, because then I could have taken that Reaper Cloth. And that would have been much more effective, I think, than having the Kadabra with those items. But either way, we're pretty strong. We tempo to level 9, and we mess up our placement, kind of, but it doesn't really matter since we have it just falls into place, really. And both teams are playing us. It looks like the field team, the field team loses to our Ghost, and then the other team, the fire team, also loses to us. But I can see from their health that they popped some, what's it called? The whatever like gem thing you get from the flame crystal thing you get once you're fire 8. I can see that they popped some of those from their health getting lowered, so they're going to be more powerful in the next round. But it actually is not our concern because they lose, and then the field team is the one that actually beats us. And I thought the Solosis would help, but apparently it didn't really matter. So let's put this unknown exclamation point, I think. Put that in and see if it helps. I think that's the one that summons 4 unknowns on each corner. And then we get the Porygon 2, which is I think more valuable than the Solosis, even if we are playing against a field team. And this should be the last round. Whoever wins takes it. And it looks like we have a good start, but they are field, so they're going to get more powerful. But luckily we do take it. Our Gothitelle does a lot of damage. And I do cut the recording short here, so it doesn't show like how many attempts it was, or what I spun for. But this was the human synergy. That took us four attempts, and then our next game is for artificial, so I'll see you then.